Good afternoon, and welcome to a surprise edition of Lakers Fast Break Spotlight on Lakerholics weekend. With me is Laker Tom, who wasn't here yesterday, so this all makes sense. We're here to talk about the thing that nobody ever saw coming. And I just want to say, I say this every time a trade like this happens, but I'm going to say it one more time because why not? This is why I don't pay attention to any sporting news about trade rumors, because those guys, for lack of a better word, have their heads up their asses. They don't know jack. The insiders, they don't know jack. Nobody knows jack. The only people who know are the people who are making the moves, and in this case, that was Rob and Nico. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. So it's when I see rumors about this or that, I'm like, whatever. And that's why I also am frustrating to talk about trades with, because I'm always like, yeah, that's not happening. Because I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I don't believe these people know what they're talking about. I don't believe they have any special insight or news or sources. They're just taking what people tell them and saying, okay. And so in this case, here we go. Oh, Michael H. is here. Morning,
Hey,
Michael.
Aloha.
Now it's a party. We just started, and this is, of course, the trade nobody saw happening, which is why we don't pay attention to internet scuttlebutt or clickbait. All right, so
what kind of we is that? You know, you and your
me,
right.
the royal me.
It's the we won. It's the we won.
Yeah. Evidently, Rob has not been sitting on his hands.
That's right. That's right. And evidently, the big trade wasn't for a bunch of spare parts for too many first-round picks. I think this probably puts a dent in the Miles Turner hope. But
dent in it? I think it increases it all across the board.
We'll get into that. All right.
Or any of the. There's no reason even to hold the swaps back now.
That's a valid. Let's get into the trade. First off, if you're hiding under a rock or living in a cave and you're just finding out this morning, Luka Doncic got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis and Max Christie.
Paul Gasol 2.0.
I think it's even more earth-shattering than that. I mean, it's equivalent. I would say it's the equivalent of when Kareem was traded to the Lakers. The only thing about that trade is that it didn't happen in this modern era, so people couldn't go blah, 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 about it.
We gave up a lot more for Kareem though than we did for Luka.
Not really.
First and a second, man.
I mean, picks-wise, sure. You're talking about
the best defensive player in the league.
No, but you're talking about the premier two-way player in basketball. There is no better two-way player in the NBA than Anthony Davis, especially when you get into the big man discussion. The only other one that comes close is Giannis. And
that's who they talked first to.
I would have, if I
talked to the Bucks. The word is that they talked to the Bucks about trading for Giannis.
Oh, the Mavericks did?
Yeah, that's the other team that they contacted besides the Lakers.
That's interesting and not surprising.
Bucks obviously were not interested because they only got one star.
Well,
give the team to Dave.
All right, so let's see. So there's a lot going on in the chat. There's a lot going on in the world. All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts of the trade. So the Lakers gave up the 2029 first-round draft pick, unprotected, a second-round pick that went to Utah to move Jalen Hood-Schifino, which now I do believe we did not clear a roster space with this trade. Am I correct?
No, that's why we had to give up that second round.
That's why we had to, because we had to move Hood-Schifino.
They wouldn't accept. They wouldn't get rid of a player themselves. So we had to.
That's the price of doing business.
Get rid of somebody on our roster.
I've been going over this trade this morning, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate as to why I wouldn't have made it. I would make this trade in every single scenario, and I'll tell you why. And then I'm going to let Michael talk, and then, Tom, we're going to get your thoughts because I know they'll be voluminous. I'm just being honest. I would make this trade every time because it sets you up until 2030 or beyond. You're set as a Laker franchise until the year 2030 and beyond, which means all of those picks are now mid-grade picks, which Michael and I talked about for the last few weeks. Like, oh, those picks are so valuable. Yeah, if the Lakers stay terrible for the 6 years straight, and that's just never going to happen in any reality. And here we see Yes, reality has come through. And I'm not saying that they're worthless. They're just not these like wonderful picks. It's not like getting a Charlotte pick. Charlotte pick, you're like, oh well, it's got a good chance of being a pretty high draft slot. With the Lakers, it's a little bit different. So I've been of this opinion for like a decade now, ever since all these trade things became there. Anyway, there's no world I don't make this. There's no dimension, there's no multiverse, there's no anywhere where I don't think you can't say no to this. You can't say no to this. And I understand that Anthony Davis helped us win an NBA title. I understand that Anthony Davis is probably one of the top 5 two-way players in the game today. Luka Doncic, when healthy, and this is the same with AD. So this one they nullify each other. It does. AD's as oft injured as Luka is. With AD, it's like a variety of injuries. With Luka, it's basically the Cavs. When healthy, Luka Doncic is a transcendent player. And last season, he showed that he can do it on defense. Not to the degree that AD does it on defense, but enough. So there's no world where I don't make this trade. I can't do it. I really have been racking my brain trying to be like, why would I say no? I can't come up with a reason.
You're preaching to the choir.
I know. Well, I know that.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. This deal was more for the future than it is for this season. Dallas might have actually a little better chance at a ring than we have now, simply because we're going to have a huge hole at center, unless we can fix that. I don't know how we're going to.
We need 2 centers now. We need a starting center.
Well, we at least need one, Tom. We at least need one. But yeah, it was. You cannot.
Sorry, Clay.
Yeah.
You cannot say in any way. I am a little bit disappointed from the standpoint that Max is really beginning to come into his own, and I'm going to miss kind of
his best game as a Laker was his last game as a Laker.
Yeah, and it makes me sad because you like to follow the baby Lakers, right? And to see somebody, he's going to become a pretty solid player. But yeah, I mean,
the other Lakers.
But at the same time, he is also the reason why we probably only had to give up 1 instead of 2 first-round picks. Right. Because in essence, he's playing like he's 21, playing like a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So that was a trade-off. Instead of that second first-rounder, give him Max I feel is the equivalent of a first-rounder. So and you're right about the value of that other pick now. And when you look at our core players are all the same age. They're all 25 and 26-year-olds.
That's right.
Except for LeBron. So, this team could be substantially good if they can figure out the center. It does. With this kind of firepower and with some of the perimeter defense we have now on this team with Finney Smith and Bando back, and Gabe's been. I listened to the post game last night, and JJ was just raving about Gabe and the defense and the stuff he's been bringing to the team.
Hard to want to get rid of that guy, huh?
What's that?
It's very hard to want to get rid of Gabe at this point in time.
No, they can't.
You can't.
All these guys.
No.
I mean, it's
You really
anybody that can play the 2 or 3 off the table.
Yeah. So basically, I think that
except maybe Connect.
We're going to have to. Now, I loved the defensive scheme last night. I mean, that was brilliant. So if we can continue to put together some of them, if we can continue
that's a volcano in Hawaii exploding.
That's me.
If we can continue to bring these kind of defensive schemes together, we have a shot. If we can get, right now, the guy I'm looking at, everybody's looking at Kessler, which I think is off the table. They wouldn't do it for 2 first rounders. They're not going to do it for 1. Turner's not going anywhere unless they get a center for him. And so who's left? there might be another surprise. I mean, who knew we were going to get Luka, right? So there could be something up. The bad thing about it is that, we have Kleba now. He had his foot surgery. He's not even going to be reevaluated until April.
Is he possibly coming back, do you think?
Possibly. But the thing about it is, what's bad about it is that we cannot, per the rules, we can't take Kleba and add somebody to him.
No,
right. For a bigger trade. It would have to be. It would have to be Kleba. It'd have to be Kleba for somebody else.
Right.
Straight up.
So that's a nice price point, $11 million.
Yeah, I mean, it could come in handy in the summer.
Yeah.
But currently, right now, not so much. So now the guy I'm looking at that could still possibly, be within the realm of possibility is was it Sharp? What's the guy in the Nets?
Day'Ron Sharp. Day'Ron Sharp.
He's got a modest contract. He could come in and bang a little bit.
He could be our backup center.
Well, we don't have a first. We got to get a.
We don't have a
starting center first.
Yeah, Hayes is fine as a backup. I've got some nice things to say about
Hayes. Hayes played really well yesterday.
Yeah. Well, let's let Michael finish. Then we'll go to you, Tom, and then
So anyway, that's where I'm at with this. I mean, it was for the future more than the present, but if we can figure out a way to plug a hole, a rather big one, it could be for this year too. We'll. And one other thing, it'll be interesting to see Luka and LeBron and how that's going to work out, because these are two of the highest usage players in the NBA. And what are the odds if they're out there together that anybody else touches the ball?
Well, they said the same thing about Kyrie and Luka, and they made it work all the way to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So I think there's a blueprint for success.
Yeah, my mind's been blown.
Yeah, my mind is.
But that's pretty much what I have right now.
All right, real quick, I want to get your thoughts there. But Doobie Doo. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, if you take a team to the NBA Finals, you're not just messing around. You're not just going and winning games. Like, it takes a lot. So you're entitled to your opinion. I'm just going to disagree with it. At any rate, Tom. What are you? I'm sure you're not in favor of this trade. I'm sure you are like, oh man, another trade. I'm just kidding.
No, it's kind of funny. I look at this trade probably differently than most Laker fans do. My wife just threatened to become a Mavericks fan. She's a big AD fan, and I'm a big AD fan.
I'm a huge AD fan.
You can't turn down a chance for Luka.
You just can't.
But what's interesting is that the Lakers almost did. Because when you think about this, they didn't get the second first-round pick from us. They didn't get the second-round pick from us. They didn't get Austin Reeves. They didn't get Dalton Connect. I mean, imagine those conversations. What came through on this is that the Mavericks really... And I give them credit because I love what they did from an intelligence standpoint, and they got a pretty good team. And Anthony Davis is going to fit like a glove there with the guys. And I think they've been doing a great job of building that team, almost doing things that the Lakers should have been doing the last couple of trade deadlines and so forth. So I look at it as a win-win trade for both teams. But I think this changes the entire direction for the Lakers for this season, because there is no reason to keep these picks now because they have the transition player they wanted. Right. Now what they need to do is they have a more serious situation at center, because they don't just need a backup center now. They need a starting center. Day'Ron Sharp would have been fine if we had AD, but we don't have AD. And Jackson Hayes may be okay as a backup center, but not when we play any of these bigger teams. We still need some bruising bodies. And there's no reason not to spend those picks because we have Luka in hand and can lock him up. So there's a couple of things. One, we kept that. We did not give up either the first round pick or the second round pick And we know that that if they can get Kessler, they'll give 3 picks to get Kessler. My feeling is they'll put Dalton Connect straight across for Kessler in a trade. They'll give him the rest of the 27 pick. They'll make that unprotected, and they'll give him a 31 pick. And I think that's going to be enough to make that trade. And then I think they go and they take that second and they go after Lonzo with Rui and some things. They go after Lonzo Ball or Bruce Brown. One of the other.
No, okay.
Neither are very good, but okay.
You can't, the best thing about this is Austin Reeves is your 6th man because you ain't going to start him. You ain't going to start 2 white boys at backcourt for the Lakers.
We'll see about that. I don't know about this is. So let's get into rotations. Well, first off, okay. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the chat. I can't even keep up with it. So somebody said, like, what happens with LeBron? LeBron has already gone on record saying he does not. It does not intend to ask for a trade. He's staying. That was my thought last night. I was like, what if LeBron doesn't like this and says
Clutch was involved in this whole thing, so they.
I don't know that they were to the point that AD and LeBron didn't find out till AD's posting congratulatory social media posts about the win. LeBron's at dinner and they're both like, huh? I don't know that Clutch was involved.
You don't talk about trading Anthony Davis without notifying his agent.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Happen.
That's beside the point. We're arguing utter semantics at this point, and it doesn't matter because it's done. So whether they knew or not is immaterial. But LeBron's staying. I had supposed, like, if he did ask for a trade and he asked, I mean, where's he going to ask to go to? He's going to ask to go to Golden State. The Lakers are going to do everything in their power in that. But that's not going to happen. So we don't need to. But that could have been a scenario where we ended up with Jimmy Buckets. And
he loves Luka and he wants to play with him.
He loves Luka and he wants to play with him because now he can see a path forward where he can age a little more gracefully.
Yeah.
And Reeves doesn't truly offer you that path. And I love Austin Reeves, but let's be honest, he's a solid starter, if not an elite backup. I'm going to disagree with Tom. I think our rotation as it stands right now is Vincent, Reeves, Luka, LeBron, and Hayes. When we play tomorrow, right? When we play tomorrow, that's the starting 5.
Who cares who the rotation is for tomorrow?
Well, it hasn't changed, so it's going to be like that until another trade happens, right? So,
he's not going to take Rui out of the starting lineup until we trade him.
You got to put somebody on the bench.
They might now, and here's why. Because, I'm a big Rui supporter, and he's not going to be traded for Lonzo Ball, Tom.
No.
But
I don't know, Michael.
Come on, Tom. You really want a guy that has a 25-minute a game?
All of the talk with Lonzo Ball, there's only one player who can be traded to get up there.
Gerald is reporting.
Why would you do it? They now have the premier
because Rui doesn't play defense, and because Lonzo.
Oh, bullshit! Bullshit! He doesn't play defense. Come on, watch him last night.
He's not a
really watched him last night.
He's not a plus defender. Last night he played good defense. That was
he's been playing good defense all year. So anyway,
why do you think they're trying to trade?
He plays better defense. He plays better defense than Luka does. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah,
sure. I know. I'm not about that.
The reason why I said that you put Finney Smith now in there is because you're going to have.
Yeah, you're right.
I would put Finney Smith in there ahead of Rui, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Well,
I think Michael's saying he's putting DFS instead of Hayes.
Oh,
you're going to play small ball with DFS for the time being?
It depends on
who's a good small ball center.
I mean, we did it last night.
Hayes, it's really funny. Hayes played well last night. And it was really pretty shocking, the inability of we did the same in the second half, exactly what we did to him in the first half.
Yeah, well, you had Finney Smith. You had Finney Smith guarding Towns. You can get away with that because Towns is not a banger inside.
Right. Yeah.
And that's been my knock on him his entire career is that he's this big guy that doesn't play big.
Right.
And so if you watched, it was like they passed the ball on top of the key to Finney Smith. And I don't know where Towns was. He's all like, ah.
The doubling really showed that's the other argument that's been going on in the Lakers front office, which is that more athleticism and speed, and being able to double and recover and so forth can shut down players.
Austin was doing a great job.
Down Anthony Davis, you double team him.
Yeah, Austin was doing a great job of that last night. He got 3 steals,
It's but Austin really, Luka definitely, at least he's big. That's one thing that you can give him. At least he's not a small guard, like Trey, trying to hide Trey is a lot harder than trying to hide Luka defensively.
Well, you can actually put Luka, you can slide him to the 3 if you need to,
right. Yeah.
Because he has the size. So,
right. Yeah, and basically you're not going to have him guard a jitterbug 1 anyway.
No, he's not.
That's him so quickly.
Yeah.
But when you think of the Lakers' motivation to make a trade and to go all in, and let's say to use these swaps, which basically going to become worthless if the Lakers make these trades. The swaps are going to be, the Lakers are going to have a better record than any of these teams are trading with at this point in time. So they should go all in and trade this stuff, and there's no reason to hold on to them. You want to get as good a situation as you can, and you have a real shot this year. They won't be the favorites, but they match up pretty well with all of those teams that are the teams that everybody thinks are the best 2 to 3 teams in the league.
This is the projected starting 5 of NBA.com. I don't necessarily agree with this. Luka Doncic at the 1, Reeves at the 2, Rui at the 3, LeBron.
No, I think
4.
DFS should be at the 3.
Or Vando, one of the 2. And this is the full roster. I don't know why Bronny James is listed so high, but there he is. Let's not forget. So let's talk about Markieff Morris real quick. This is kind of an under the radar. I don't even know if he's playing right now.
Did he play any minutes? Does he have any minutes?
I'm gonna look it up right now
because since he got in that thing with Jokic, he's sort of like disappeared.
Well, it's and also there's not a great role for him on some of the teams he's been on. The Mavs had
especially this one.
Yeah, there's like 4 guys that are going to play in front of him, and
I wouldn't mind Maxi Kleber being the third power forward.
Well, I don't think you can count on Kleber to really give you much this season.
Not this year, anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, Markieff is making the vet minimum. He's only getting
right.
$2 million this season.
Well, you need somebody to come in and knock somebody down. He's a good guy.
Yeah, somebody that you don't mind getting suspended.
He's right. He's played 7. He's played
it's
7.
It's not going to hurt his reputation, is it? He's already got a rep for.
He's played 7 whole games.
You need somebody to deliver a cheap shot? That's me.
Yeah. Gerald, we went over this. We know. Max just broke a bone in his foot. Nobody's counting on it. Well, I'm not counting on him.
He's a shooter, man. I like
especially with our training staff. It's just not going to happen.
Another thing that we need to find out.
Is Chris Wood ever going to come back, man? I can't believe
that's what I was going to say. He's
the training staff.
The last update we got was December 30th. And that he was getting on the court and doing on-work stuff. And then nothing since then. A whole month goes by and there hasn't been
on the stairs or something at Christmas.
I don't have any idea, but he could be helpful if he would ever come back.
It'd be great.
It's hilarious that our training center is a UCLA medical health center, thing.
So I want to talk about this from the Dallas Mavericks point of view. There's some valid concerns here. Evidently, according to the scuttlebutt of the internet, the Mavs had grown tired of, or at the very least concerned, that Luka's health and availability was going to be an issue going forward. Everybody's like, he's only 25. He's only 25. He's only 25. Guy's missed a lot of games every single season of his NBA career with calf injuries. He's often had a weight problem. He's often showed up to camp out of shape. Not the sveltest of players. Is this a concern for Laker fans going forward? There's not a lot of options at this point. We're kind of
lucky that he's coming to work with the LeBron for a year, man. That's
LeBron needs to say, you're coming to the gym with me, dude.
Yep. Seriously, this could be the best thing that could ever happen to him in his career because he'll all of a sudden find out what it's like to be the face of a franchise and how serious you have to be if you really want to be the best version of yourself, because that's what LeBron does. That's what LeBron is ace. He's the guy who knows how to make the best version of himself. And that's what he needs to teach.
Yeah, right now, I think Luka's biggest problem is I think he has the same training regiment that Vlade did.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he smokes on the bench.
Smoke. That's the only difference.
He might not smoke on the bench, but he has the same
cream puffs and whiskey.
Never met a Twinkie he didn't like.
Vlade was a character. I always have a soft spot for Vlade. I just guy did it his own way. Vlade always reminded me of the Frank Sinatra song. I did it my way. Didn't win, but hey, he was fun to watch and interesting player.
But it's a gutsy move that they apparently talked for over a month and not a word got out of this thing.
Again, why I don't pay attention to the internet.
Pretty amazing.
Because they don't know Jack.
You got to wonder. You got to wonder how Luka's feeling about it. They cost him millions of dollars. He is no longer going to.
He'll get it back.
No, he will not. He's no longer.
No, he'll get it back in endorsements. He'll get it back in other ways. He's fine.
But he's no longer a max player.
In taxes.
Watch Luka drop 60 on the Mavs every single time. You cost me 67, 70, 80 million dollars. That's what I think about you, Dallas. Anyway, YYC saying they say Luka gained 40 pounds. I think that
I got tickets for March 16th against the Suns at Staples.
You do? Are you trying to scalp him? Are you scalping him online, or what's going on?
No, my grandson and I ponied up and spent
I got you.
About $1,000 each to plan this little trip for us.
That's fine. So that'll be a fun game.
He called me up last night and he was so excited. He says, "Man, we're gonna go." First he was crying because he's a big AD fan. Then he says, "Oh, we're going to get to see Luka as a Laker," All
right, so real quick, everybody on the chat who's proposing trades, take the guards out of your trades. Just
we don't have enough guards.
We don't have enough guards. Unless you're bringing a guard back in your trade, just stop. Stop now. Look intelligent. Look intelligent and rein yourself in a little bit. The only players we're going to trade right now are Hachimura, Vando, DFS, and
we're not going to trade Vando.
Listen, I'm done saying we're not going to do anything. What has become apparent to me is that none of us know Jack.
Jamie, come on. Your stance is always we're not going to do anything.
Well, that's not true.
Just be consistent, man.
Keep painting in broad brush strokes over there, Wong.
The viewers cannot handle you changing your mind and actually having opinions.
I have opinions. My opinion is anything is possible at this moment. I'm not taking Vando off the table. It depends on who they're getting.
Vando's
back
too important.
I tend to agree. I don't think
you don't bring in a guy who can't play defense and then get rid of your best defender.
I think you can see a real lineup of Luka, LeBron, Vando, DFS, and Hayes, and or a new center.
I don't think you get rid of Vincent either. Not the way
you can't get and you can put Vincent as the point guard of that lineup, and you have a dynamite.
That's why Rui becomes dispensable. Because Rui has become indispensable because they can defend.
But there's nobody to trade him for. So
nobody to trade him for 17 million.
Bruce Brown or Lonzo Ball.
Bruce Brown has sucked since Denver. You like Denver Bruce Brown.
Playing really well last month.
Whatever. I don't see that one happening. We'd have too many wings as it is. Now we have an abundance of wings. Start of the season.
Never have enough of wings. Never have enough wings and never have enough shooters.
I think listen, let's talk about the center position because everybody's like, we need a center, and I agree. One thing that I think has gone underrated about Jackson Hayes as a Laker and in general is Jackson Hayes is a great play connector. Jackson Hayes makes smart passes out of the post. I'm not saying he's an offensive hub. I'm saying he's smart at kicking the ball out and not holding the ball and thinking about his possession too much. He's great at next guy passes, and he averages more assists than you would think for a guy playing as few minutes and with the role that he has. Is there a world where Jackson Hayes is enough at the 5? I personally don't think so, but I'm interested to see what other people think. Michael,
nobody does. So
I don't think so either. But
I don't think so either.
We might end up. We might end up. we might not be able to fix that problem until the off season.
Man. Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
Because
Rodell, I agree.
Rob, I think that was Rob talking.
Everybody's telling you this.
Until the off
Nobody,
season.
nobody agrees with you, Tom, on Bruce Brown, by the way. And I won't even get into what they're saying about Lonzo Ball.
But the thing about it is that we may not be able to fix it. That's why Sharp would be an inexpensive possibility to bring in as a placeholder.
He wasn't very impressive when we played him. That always bothers me.
Yeah, but another thing though, I mean, if nothing else that happens can happen,
anything but Jonas is my bottle.
I think that if they can't make a deal, that you'll probably see somebody cut and maybe one of our two-way guys promoted, so we'd have another center for the playoffs. I mean, that's the best case. That's the worst case scenario, but that might be the only way they can go if they can't find a deal for a center. So
I mean, I think they could listen. They'll
find a center. There's actually 4 or 5 guys out there, so it's not like there's nobody to
but not to us. That's the problem.
There's some interesting.
You think there's a tax out there?
No. Turner was not going to come here because we don't have a center to trade for him.
Wait, well, what about Poeltl?
I love Poeltl.
Jacob
Poeltl would be a great addition to this team.
It depends on what they're asking for him. They were asking for multiple first-round picks for him.
Yeah. I don't know that we have. Listen. Indiana is climbing the standards.
He makes the same amount of money, which is what they want, and he's got.
It's not about the money, Tom. It's about, is Indiana going to blow up their team for a non-center when they're climbing
the
standards?
Fourth seed in the East.
They're rocketing up the standings. They're not going to blow it up.
He's going to be gone.
Then they'll lose him, and they'll be under the cap, and that's fine for them.
They're actually looking for trades that they can move somebody and re-sign Turner is what they're trying to do.
I think that makes more sense. I think that they'll clear cap space with Detritus and
the Lakers just need to overpay for either Turner or Kessler.
We don't have a lot to overpay with.
No, so there might kind of disagree.
They have a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and 3 swaps.
I'm not talking about the swaps. Let's talk about would you do a deal, Dalton Connect and the first-round pick and the second-round pick for Kessler?
Sure. Absolutely.
That's the deal I think you could get done through Danny Ainge. That's the only one.
No,
I think if you gave him,
because I want to keep the second-round pick for Alonzo Ball.
You're never keep dreaming there, Diet Coke. It's not happening. It's not happening. You want an opinion? That's not happening. There you go.
I hear your opinions all the time. Nothing's going to happen. Every time something happens, it violates your opinions.
Hey, now. There's only one person who can violate my opinions. Anyway, let's see. The Lakers overpaying for Turner. I don't think you can overpay for Turner. I don't think we're getting Turner. I don't think Indiana wants to trade Turner. I think that should just be tabled.
That's always your answer. No, they don't want to trade him, or no, that they're not.
What logic? Use the power of logic, Tom. What reason would Indiana trade Miles Turner?
They've never ever paid a luxury tax. They are not going to pay a luxury tax.
Why do you think
if they give Turner a raise, they will have to pay a luxury tax?
No, they won't. They find other salaries.
Yeah, they could dump salary like any number of teams did last summer.
They're going to dump.
Who cares? It's not my problem.
They've just extended every one of their main characters on their team.
And Lakers just traded for Luka Doncic.
And they've got 2 big contracts that hit next year for $45 million each.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that they're gonna trade.
Yeah, here they are. We're racing up the standings.
Right.
Yeah, we're winning. We have a good shot at a high seed.
And all the owner really cares about is.
But let's just tank it all and just cut it because we don't want to pay luxury tax.
No, I don't know about that one. Some people are pining for Robert Williams III, aka Time Lord.
He's my 3rd choice.
He's like my 18th choice. That guy. I mean, now we just have the all. Hopefully,
well, he injured his hand now, so he's out again with his 4th injury of the season.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. At any rate, all right. So
you're a big Jonas fan, I guess, huh? You want Jonas?
No, nobody wants. Nobody wants Jonas.
Capella. That's who. I knew it all along.
I wouldn't mind Clint Capella.
Jamie and
You know
Clint
what? If
Capella,
Robert Williams didn't break down every other game, he would
Every
be
week.
a great player.
Every week, Robert Williams.
I mean,
you got enough,
4
we have
injuries
enough
now.
depth that you got to gamble on the talent. It's the upside that you got to play for. That's how you win championships. You end up being lucky on
That's
injuries and
absolutely a giant pile
You
of
got to
steaming
survive
crap.
that. So
You show me a team in the NBA that just gambled on a bunch of upside at the trading deadline and then went and won a championship. Go find one and show me that team. It does not exist.
not
does not
many of those
exist.
teams win a championship.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All right, let's move on.
This is an age of parity where it's almost impossible to predict who's going to win until you find out who gets hurt.
Well, I can guarantee you that'll be Robert Williams III.
You can't guarantee that.
Oh, no, I just did. It's done. All right, let's move on from Robert Williams III. Time Lord wishes he could go back in time and change his injury history. But unfortunately, he's not a true Time Lord. He's stuck here in reality with the rest of us. A lot of people are, in the chat are dishing on the Lakers, are crapping all over the Lakers because they're calling Luka Doncic, and I will quote, but not post it, a doughy little 25-year-old. You people must not watch basketball.
No, not at all.
I don't know what you do with your time. I guarantee you it doesn't mean you're watching basketball. Or if you are, it's on in the background and you're like this on your phone. I'm going to post moronic things online because that, my friends, is one of the silliest things I have ever seen. I don't know what to tell you. The dude's a transitional generational talent. He has been a transitional generational talent.
He's a mini Joker.
He's maybe better.
He's really a mini Joker.
He's maybe better because he has
That's
not.
Why you don't worry about him.
Last season,
that body of his is actually a weapon as it is.
He uses that size to his advantage. It's part of his game. He's able to
get just like Nikola.
He creates separation.
People off of it.
It's mind blowing to me that people could be speaking these things, and it's just like, okay, whatever. No, YYC. I don't think we're out on Vuk, but it would be difficult to put the.
No, we're out on him. There was several posts today that said we were out on him.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
it's the age thing. We're not going to give up that pick for
somebody who's 30.
Well, like I said, this move was for the future.
He's shooting 40% on 5 threes a game.
Yeah, this move was for the future. So you're going to look at younger guys for sure.
Yeah,
They're not going to go old.
That's why I think
nobody over 28 at this point in time.
That's why
we traded for Morris.
I really do think you got to consider putting. There's another move out there that is like a Band-Aid move. We could see if Philly's going to fall apart, and they kind of have been, but we'll see. You could maybe push to get Andre Drummond, who's very cheap, who's exactly kind of what you need.
I don't want any more cheap centers. We've gone through probably a dozen cheap centers, man.
Oh, hey, we went through every.
They can't compete against the young studs.
We went through every cheap 3-point shooter, and you didn't mind that.
Well, I didn't like most of the cheap ones. I don't like cheap players. Cheap players generally don't pay off. Usually you get what you pay for or less than what you pay for.
Well, that's how I feel about Time Lord and Lonzo Ball. You're going to get a broken player for an overpay.
Sometimes you take a gamble on a player like that and you end up with a gem because that's the only way you
get
it.
But Lonzo Ball can't even play 25 minutes a game for the rest of the year. Yeah, he cannot play a second night to back for the rest of the year.
Hell, I take Herb Jones for the same reason that there's certain players.
Herb Jones won't be available until next year.
He won't be available at all this year.
Oh, all right. Let's get to the part of the show where
I trade for him.
Let's get to the part of the show where we each say something nice about Anthony Davis. I would like to start with this. Anthony Davis, I would like to thank you for the bubble championship title and for doing your best. I know you weren't always available. We all got on you about that, and we'll probably get on Luka about that because he's the same. Just so you know, if you want to catch Joe, he's going to be on in about 3 hours. He's going on at 4 o'clock. Stone Hansen, Joe Soro, maybe others. Talking about a lot of this, different opinions, probably a little bit less cantankerous, but you never know. It's just how Tom and I talk. We tend to disagree on many things. Listen, AD was
how we disagree. Even
that's right. Yeah, that's right. AD is I'm going to say it again. He's one of the best two-way players in the game today. trading for him was the absolute right move, just like trading for Luka right now is the absolute right move. And AD, I hope you have a fantastic career. I hope every game you play is fantastic, except when you play the Lakers. That's right. And I just want to say thank you for your time in the purple and gold. Either one of you, go ahead. Tom, you go ahead. Well,
for me,
all right, Michael, you go ahead.
Yeah, AD was a special player, and Luka's probably one of the, if not the only guy I would have been okay with the trade for.
It's like 3.
There's not a whole lot of other guys in this league that I would have been okay with in trading for.
Well, there's probably
I think he was
quite a few of them when you think about it. Ant-Man.
Let Michael say a nice thing, Tom. Jesus.
Sorry.
God damn.
So, there's just not that many two-way players out there that, he's probably maybe the best two-way player in the league. Because of his ability on both ends of the ball, it's going to be a real challenge defensively for us without having him. I was actually getting kind of stoked. I was actually kind of getting stoked with the way our other guys were picking up their defense and thinking, okay, when we get AD in there, this is going to be really a tough defense, But you can't pass the deal up. So he should actually, he should get a jersey on the wall when he retires. He really should.
Oh,
I think so.
Man, that's a bold.
He played more years than Wilt.
Maybe at least a statue.
He played more years
not a
than
permanent
Wilt
one, but one that melts under the rain,
And Wilt got one. Wilt got a jersey for one championship.
Aren't we supposed to say nice
My
things?
wife this morning comes in with an AD jersey on. What do you say? What do you say? And then she tells me that she's going to become a Mavericks fan.
Here's a worse one. Rafael Barlow, friend of the show, his son is a huge Dallas Mavericks fan, huge Luka fan, and he had to inform his I think his 3-year-old son, 2 or 3-year-old son, that his favorite player was traded to the Lakers. And
maybe he's got that American Express insurance where you get a free jersey, when they.
I don't know about that. Yeah. All right. Joe's saying 80s jersey will go up there too. Definitely not a statue.
No, but jersey for sure.
Jersey for sure.
But then you got to put Fisher's jersey up there. You got to put Fox's jersey.
Fisher's not in the Hall of Fame. AD will be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
All right.
That's the thing. I always thought that they should do
Michael's
something.
changing the goalpost.
All right. Joe's saying the same thing. All right. I won't disagree with that. I think it's a bold move. I think it's a bold move considering the number of players up there that have won multiple titles. That might be my Laker exceptionalism showing through. Tom, it's your turn to try and say something nice about it.
I hope we invite him to the parade. I'd like to see him at the parade.
He's never getting a parade
because he missed the first parade. So he deserves to be at the parade.
He's never getting one. That's a bummer.
It's funny. My grandson and my wife both have AD jerseys. Jesus, it's going to be very difficult. I lost my son to the Warriors. It's really tough nowadays. It's hard with the internet to keep up. And you try to hold on to these people and make them loyal fans, and they get away. They slip away. What can you say? Anthony Davis. To be honest, I almost wish this move for Luka happened this summer instead of now, because I was feeling the same way. I was looking at just like Michael was. I was looking at the way we were playing, the way that even in the second half they couldn't stop us from doing it. We were just shutting them down completely, and we didn't even have AD. You put AD out there with all of these other people, and you had a center. They had a center like Kessler, and then that AD run around along with DFS and Vando. My God, that team would be just terrific.
Yeah.
So there's a big strain of heartbreak right along with the joy that I should have. That
I do have. I'm excited for Luka. I'm not going to lie. I'm
excited for Luka too, but I'm not a Luka fan like I was an AD fan. There's a difference there. And part of it is I hate Luka's complaining, man. I hope to hell that LeBron, I really do think the best thing for Luka is if he sits down with LeBron and understands that I've got some growing up to do before I can take over leadership of the Lakers. And I'm
Man.
hoping that LeBron will straighten him out and help him become the best version of himself. And I'll cheer for him and I'll root for him. And like you say, I agree 100% that the deal you can't turn down an opportunity like that.
Can't do it.
No, but at the same time, what I think you have to do now, you have to commit to going all in and use those picks, use those swaps, and get the players you need, get the center you need, and get a guard you need to fill those holes. And you have a shot at maybe LeBron staying a couple more years and picking up a couple championships and overcoming the Celtics and winning 18 and 19.
I don't know if we'll get both those. I don't know if we'll do that grocery list in season. I don't know that we have the assets to get a center and a guard. A center and a guard.
You have to go with a cheap center to make it work.
I think you're just
all expensive.
You just said you don't like cheap players. You have some consistency, man.
No, I don't like cheap players. I want a center who starts. Time Lord is the only option we have, frankly. Maybe the guy from the Nets,
Sharp or Claxton.
No, the very expensive guy, 27.
Claxton. Nick Claxton. I don't see it.
28 mil.
28 mil. I don't know how we get there. You
get there with Vando and Gabe, and I don't want to lose either one of them.
Or with Rui and Vando. But that's too much to give up for Nick Claxton, in my opinion. I think you have to go. I think you're going to see smaller moves. And I don't think the Lakers are all hell-bent on getting rid of all of their tradable picks this season. I think, again, if this all season long.
They're going to use the first round pick. They will use it for sure.
You need a
I'll bet them.
It depends on who's available. It depends on who's available.
Yeah. So this is.
I'll apologize for making too many trades if you win.
No, you won't.
Don't apologize for never having an opinion if I win.
No, that's not happening. I'm not gonna make that bet because that's illogical. Listen, we've said it. Rob said it. This met the criteria for everything that Rob has been saying for over a year. If a trade that makes sense falls in our lap, the picks are available. We're not talking about, we're taking a gamble on a guy who's got one leg and half an arm. Like these are not the criteria, right?
What are they saving the picks for, in your opinion? Then
another trade like that, Walker Kessler fits the criteria.
Okay.
Because he, like you're saying, he fits in with the timeline. He augments everybody in that starting lineup, and he's available.
Yep.
He plays.
Maybe. Oh yeah, from an availability standpoint, yeah.
He plays, right? He's available every night, whether they put him in or not.
That's why you overpay for one of those two guys.
I would. I don't know that Danny Ainge is going to do that deal, but I would do that deal. So if you're saying like, what deals would you make? That's a deal I would make. Well, I don't think Ainge is going to make. I would even make a Rui for Turner trade. I just don't think Indy does that.
No,
I don't see the logic behind Indiana rocketing up the standings, killing people left and right. And I get it. There's a big price that they have to discuss this summer. That's not happening.
Paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs written about their financial situation, and everybody agrees there's no way that Turner stays.
You know what? There were paragraphs and paragraphs written about all these fake trades that never happened, and here we are. Sure. So I take it all with a grain of salt, and I'm telling you right now, is this Kessler guy good?
Eduardo, all, Jamie.
Eduardo, he's a double machine. At how old is Kessler? 22.
22.
There's a lot of double machines that I wouldn't want on a team. Clint Capella.
No, but you would want Walker Kessler.
Who the hell wants Clint Capella on a team, man? Forget it.
He's an expiring contract.
And Kessler also is one of the top shot blockers in the league as well.
Yeah, no, you go for. I would trade for Zubats. I would trade for Kessler. I would trade for Miles Turner. Again, I just don't think it's going to happen. And I would trade for Daron Sharp. Those are my top four. And
Sharp's never played more than like 20 minutes a game. So
that's fine. I mean, you're not.
He's not going to be your starting center. You're gonna what? You're gonna go with.
No, you start him and play him for 20 minutes a game. Half the players we're talking about get played off in the playoffs anyway. Half the players we're talking about are going to get played right off the court in the playoffs anyway. So it doesn't, depending on the matchup, absolutely. And so this is one of those things where it's like, what do you give up?
You're not going to play Kessler off the floor, and you're not going to play Turner off the floor.
I don't know about that.
Depends.
I don't know that Turner can bang with Turner can't bang with Jokic. He's not going to be able to handle Jokic. He can't bang with Embiid.
He doesn't have to handle them alone.
At this point, kind of, yeah. No, I mean, he got DFS, I suppose. And anyway, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what this all looks like, and we've got 4 more days of mania. We have the unresolved Jimmy Butler saga. We have, is Bradley Beal going to waive his no trade clause for somebody else who doesn't really want him? But
guess those things didn't clog the pipes up enough, did they?
No, everybody was like, nothing's going to happen until Jimmy Butler.
All waiting for that trade to happen, and nothing will happen until then, and then boom.
I mean, nobody can't get Zubats. I would have said the same thing about Luka. This is my point, and I'm listen. Everybody likes to talk like they're an expert or whatever. We all just got thoughts. We all just got notions. We all got opinions. Whether you agree with them or not is kind of inconsequential. They're just what we think. At any rate, I think this is a good place to stop. Anybody else got anything they want to add? We play tomorrow.
No, we play Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
The Clippers.
Yeah, we have an extra day off.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Luka won't be playing. He's not supposed to come back to the All-Star break. And the All-Star break, I think, is early.
Won't be playing, and Christie won't be playing.
No. Well, we might see some Quincy.
Won't be playing.
Well, we'll either see some.
We can't bring Quincy up. He's not a two-way. We would have to sign him to a 10-day contract.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
But we don't have a roster spot to do that.
No, we're going to waive. I think we're going to waive Wood. We got to waive Wood at some point, which means our second-round draft pick.
I think I hang on to Wood if there's any chance the son of a bitch is coming back. I hang on.
I don't know that there is.
Because he's a valuable piece that can play center and
be honest. Do you think he's coming back? Yeah, Morris we could waive. Actually, take it back. I would waive Markieff Morris now. That's the guy, or buy him out or whatever. But you got to get him. You got to get him off the roster. We need to open up a roster spot. That was one of my criteria.
You probably want to hang on to Reddish now that you know.
Yes.
Because you're a little short
he could play at the 2. He's not ideal, but it's a Band-Aid. Yeah. There's a lot that's going to happen in the next 4 days on the Lakers. I definitely Deadwood. Joe, this is a good one. I'm taking this. I'm stealing this one, Joe. Yeah, Christian Deadwood is not going to be playing anytime soon. I don't think. I just don't think he's. I don't know what his. I don't know what his motivation is. Like,
I don't know what's going on with him.
He wants to get back and play. Every one of these guys wants to get back and play, man.
Well, Wood wants to get back and play because it's a contract year.
Yeah. You would think he'd be pushing hard to get
I don't think it's him. I think there's something else going on, and they're just not talking about it as far as his health. I really do.
Then I just
probably some bad news that happened that they had a setback or something, and
yeah.
All right. Well,
because they don't generally share that. The Lakers are notorious for not sharing that kind of information.
Oh, by the way, last January, Christian Wood fell off his house.
No, that's how it was with Vando. He got the training camp, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he had 2 surgeries on his foot." And everybody's like, "What?" I will say this: I appreciate this new version of the Lakers. Remember how it was under Magic Johnson when it was like, "Oh, the bellboy at the hotel knows what's going on." He's an insider for the Lakers at this point because Magic rode the elevator up at the hotel. This new era of Lakers is something that I personally appreciate. It's a very tight ship.
He's acting leaks.
Rob is more like Mitch was. Mitch was tight-lipped as well.
Agreed. No, it's a return to the way things ought to be.
The last thing we ought to leave off the show with, I think, is how well the team played last night.
Sure.
And JJ's. I mean, compare the difference between a few games and the way that they came together in that game, and you knew from the minute the ball was tipped up that the Lakers were ready to go. The way that they responded, and other than that one game where they just lost their composure because AD got injured, they really have looked sharp the last 7 games. They played the kind of defense that makes a difference.
I think you got to give some credit to McMillan because the guy's always been a defensive genius.
Well, the coaching staff, when you look at the adjustments that they made for that game, it's hard to shut down 2 guys, man, a big and a small.
Everybody in the chat, just stop with the trading for LeBron. LeBron already said he's not asking for a trade. He's retiring a Laker. He says he wants to retire a Laker.
Retiring as a Laker.
He's retiring a Laker. Just enough.
Just hang up and go on another channel if you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Tom. That's exactly right. It's just not happening. Could we take a flyer on Ben Simmons? I'm banning you for the chat.
I would take Ben Simmons.
No,
I've long coveted Ben Simmons.
I thought we were going to end on a positive note.
We
were about to end on a positive note. Now we go down this. Rabbit hole.
Give me Lonzo Ball. Give me Ben Simmons. Give me who else?
That's what's happening right now.
Miles Turner.
Oh my God! The Laker Tom's going to pull up the all injured, can't play.
You know, I got a new Surface computer with all of this AI stuff on it, and
wipe it and reinstall it.
When I push the button, I can push a button on a Miles Turner story, and because I've written so many of them, you'd be amazed at the stuff that comes out of the AI thing.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Man.
No, so I want to, Rodell, I want to give you props. You've been a big supporter of Max Christie, and I would agree. Since Max Christie was put into the starting lineup, and since we acquired Dorian Finney-Smith, the defense has picked up significantly. I will also add that we're 4-0 with when Vando plays. Now, listen, I'm not trying to put this on Vando. I'm just saying that energy and effort and defense generally they generally lead to winning. If you play hard and you defend hard, you often win.
You notice also Max finished at the rim really well that last game. He was trying to do the two-hand dunk on people.
No, he's hitting the. He was
going a little Euro step and hesitation thing.
No, he was jumping into the contact, holding the ball, and then finishing over the defender as they played. At any rate, we're going to end it right here. And I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, except for you, Jake. You're just a douchebag. Jake the douchebag. Hey, way to bring politics into a sport channel. That tells you what kind of brainiac you are, which is to say a negative. You're a negative brainiac, Jake. Good luck with your life. At any rate, thanks everyone.
Building up our rapport one client at a time,
or whatever. No comment, guy. Yeah. Good luck. I'm sure everything the administration does is going to affect you great. I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot of windfall from that. It's sarcasm if you can't tell. Anyway, thanks everybody for a wonderful chat. Joe Soro's on at 4:00 along with Stone Hansen, maybe others. I'm not sure. I'd like to thank most of the chat.
Kessler and Ball will be
not happening. Kessler, maybe Ball, never going to happen.
Kessler and Ball.
Thank you, Laker Tom, for the mania. Thank you, Michael, for the logic. And as always, I'm Jamie Sweet. Have a great day, everyone.
Aloha.